Today in our 2011 Audi A4, we'll be installing the Curt power taillight converter with 4-pole flat trailer connector. Part number C59236. So we're ready to hook up to our trailer. We'll have our wiring pulled out from our storage compartment on the driver's side. We can even close our storage compartment back up, so that's nice. We'll sit it down here to the side of our trunk latch, and we'll close our trunk down over it. So you can see we have plenty of length to hook up to our trailer. We have the nice dust cover to protect everything. Take the dust cover off, hook up to our trailer, and we can go wherever we need to go. Once we arrive at our destination and we unhook, we can replace the dust cover, open our trunk back up, open our storage compartment back up, and we can tuck our wiring on inside, out of the way where it won't get harmed and won't get in the way of any of our cargo in our trunk. All right, here's what our wiring kit consists of. We have our converter box here. This will isolate our trailer wiring from our vehicle's lighting systems. That way, if there's a short in the trailer wiring, it won't affect the lighting circuit on our vehicle at all and won't cause any damage to it. This is powered directly to the battery using this wire here, going to a fuse holder which we can connect to the battery. Extra length of wire to do that, ring terminal for it, a couple butt connectors. This gives us a 4-pole flat trailer connector, which is what you need. So you have your tail lights, your running lights, your turn signals, and your brake lights on your trailer. That way you have all the necessary lights required by law to safely tow. Now this kit comes with 4 quick connectors here to make our necessary connections into our vehicle's lighting system. That way it can draw the signal from that to go to our converter box to power our trailer. Now, these work in most applications without a problem, but we're going to be using 4 of our heat shrink butt connectors. Instead, this will give us a more permanent connection and be more weather resistant and won't allow any corrosion to form. We have these butt connectors available on our website if you would like to purchase some. It has a 15 amp fuse included with it as well to go into our fuse holder to protect our trailer wiring. We have some double-sided tape here to secure our converter box to the side of our vehicle. Several zip ties of various lengths included. We have a self-tapping screw so we can make our connection to our ground terminal to our sheet metal over body. And then we have a dust cover here which will go over our 4-pole flat trailer wiring and just slide it over the wire like so. Once we have it over the wire, we'll just cover up the connector like that, and now our wiring is protected. All right, we'll open up our trunk, raise up on our spare tire cover here. It has this latch to attach the trunk opening there to help hold it up. We'll remove our spare tire. Our vehicle's battery is located underneath this. That's why we're removing it. Set that aside. Raise up on this cover here. Gain access to our battery right there. Now we'll lift up on the centerpiece of our trunk. Unclip it. There it goes. Okay, we'll lift that out, set it aside. Now our side storage compartments on both of our ends of our trunk, we just pull back and fold it down to gain access to our tail lights. Do the same on the other side. Okay, we have our test light hooked to our negative terminal of our battery. We have our headlights turned on too, so our tail lights will work. Now we need to find out which one of these 4 wires controls our tail lights. Okay, so if our headlights turned on, we've established that this green wire here is our tail light signal. So we can turn our headlights off and then make our connection there. Okay, so we'll cut our green wire right in the middle. Strip back both ends of insulation. Put a blue butt connector on one end of the wire. Doesn't matter which end. We'll crimp it in place. take our brown wire on our converter, strip off some end of the insulation there, and we'll tie it together with the other end of the green wire. Okay, once these are twisted together, we'll insert them in the butt connector and crimp it on down. Okay, now we have our left turn signal turned on, so we're going to establish which wire is for our left turn signal. Okay, so it's this blue and black wire for our left turn signal. So we'll cut our blue and black wire right down the middle and strip it back. Put our blue butt connector on one end. Now we'll strip back our yellow wire on our converter box, and we'll tie the other end of the blue and black wire onto it and crimp them into the other end of the butt connector. Okay, now we have a friend pressing on the brake pedal for us, and we'll see if we can find out which wire is our brake wire. Okay, so it's this gray and white one. We'll go ahead and have our friend to get off the brakes, and we'll make our connection. Alright, so we'll cut our gray wire right in the middle, strip it back. Okay, for our stoplight, we'll be using the red wire on our converter box. We'll tie this into the other end of our gray and black wire. We have a length of our black wire here. Strip off one end, and we'll attach one of the provided yellow butt connectors to it. Crimp that on down. Take our provided fuse holder here. As you can see, there's a loop of wire, so we need to make it not a loop by cutting right in the middle. We'll strip off both ends of insulation. On one end, we'll attach a ring terminal. We'll crimp it down. The other end will go into the butt connector we attached onto the black wire. Crimp that down. I always like to wrap butt connectors that aren't heat shrink butt connectors up in electrical tape just to help protect the connection. Okay. Take the other end of our black wire, feed it under our spare tire tool tray here. Let's leave our fuse holder in this general area where our positive battery terminal is. And we'll feed it up underneath our carpet here. Now we'll take our double-sided tape that's provided, peel off one end, apply it to the back of our module, press it down nice and tight, take the other end off, and we'll stick it to this bracket here for our audio amplifier. And then the large zip tie that comes with our kit, we'll wrap behind the bracket. We'll secure a zip tie around the module here. This will just help hold it in place in case the tape ever comes undone. We'll cut off the excess zip tie. All right, there's a 10mm nut right here on the bracket for the amplifier. We can take that off and attach our ground wire around that stud. Place the wire on down the stud. Reinstall the nut. That'll give us a nice solid ground connection, and we don't have to drill a hole into the vehicle with a self-tapping screw. Now we'll measure off about how much of the black power wire we're going to need, and we'll cut off the excess. Drip our wire on back. We'll strip off a little bit more of this wire here that goes to our module. And we'll connect the two with a butt connector. And just like we do with the other butt connector, we'll wrap it in some electrical tape. Now our green wire here, this will go to our right side, our passenger side turn signal. We'll go behind our carpet, pull it on through, come over to the carpet on the passenger side, and pull the wire on through there. And we'll secure it to these wiring harnesses here with a couple zip ties to help hold it up out of the way. Cut off our excess zip tie. Okay, we have our right side turn signal turned on now. And we established that this green and black wire is our right side turn signal. So now we'll cut our green and black wire in half right here. And we'll strip the wire back and make our connections. Now we'll take our butt connector and we'll install it over a wire here. Take our green wire, measure off how much we're going to need, cut off the excess. Strip off some of the insulation, and we'll tie these two together just like we did all of our other connections. Now we'll use a heat gun and we'll shrink up our heat shrink connectors. You want to be careful around your carpet because it does melt easily. We'll take our full pull trailer connector here and we'll tuck it in the compartment on our driver's side. Close this cover back up. Close the cover up on the passenger side. Okay, we're going to need to remove the styrofoam tray around our battery. Just lift straight up on it and get it out. Now I'll remove these 14mm bolts right here. There's another on the front side of it. We'll lift the battery hold down up, out of the way. And we can remove this cover here. Just lift straight up. Now we'll take this 10mm socket off here, or take this 10mm nut off right here. So we'll take our ring terminal here, come through the back side, replace the nut, and tighten it back down. We'll fold this cover back on down. Clip it back into place and reinstall our cover here over our positive terminal. Now we'll take our provided 15-amp fuse, install into the fuse holder, and we'll close up our fuse holder here. There you go. Now we'll reinstall our spare tire mount over our battery. Okay, we'll reinstall our spare tire tools right here. Reinstall our plastic tray. Reinstall our spare tire. Spin down our retainer nut. And we'll reinstall our centerpiece here. Now we'll close our spare tire cover here. With everything back in place, it's a great idea to test it now. Pull our wiring on out. We'll plug in our 4-pole flat trailer tester. If you'd like to get one of these, we have them available on our website as part number I-26. All right, so I'll turn our headlights on. Do left turn signal. We'll do right. You see that's working. I'll step on the brakes. With all of those functions working, we are now ready to hook up to our trailer and have all the required lights by law. And that completes our installation of the Curt powered taillight converter with 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number C59236, on our 2011 Audi A4.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.